Greetings from Snake Mountain Boatworks on Saturday, March 6, 2021. Here's a bleaching update and a staining transition video on our 1941 19-foot Chris-Craft Barrelback. It is Saturday afternoon. We thought we'd have to wait the whole weekend, but it's been cold outside and the humidifiers are not quite keeping up in here, so I think Joe told me we're down to 10% on the humidity gauge, so it's time to bleach. So I'm gonna let Joe just take over and walk us through the steps from here.
Yeah, so we went and we kept it as wet as we possibly could for 2 whole days, because when we came in after the first day of doing it, it wasn't quite all the way we wanted it. So we applied more bleach, and for the second day, all throughout the day, we just covered the whole thing, and we just really got to soak in. But now I got the fun task of going through with a Scotch-Brite pad, because as you can see, the deck and the sides don't really look all that too similar. That's where these come in. After we got all the bleach, you want to take it and you're going to scuff it, and as you scuff, the darkness goes away and it goes more into uniform look into the deck. And this will get rid of all the fibers that are sticking up from sanding, anything that's in the seams. And I'll go over this whole thing, get it all scrubbed down so it's nice and smooth.
You'll even go over the really blonde part.
Oh yeah, I'll go over anything that was bleached on this will be hit. And you don't want to go too crazy with it, because as you know, bleach only goes down so far and you don't want to make it any lighter than what you have to. So we're just more or less trying to get it scuffed down, get it looking a little bit more uniform in places. And once I get this whole thing sanded down, I'm going to go through, vacuum the entire thing, and I will go through with a tack cloth where anywhere where there's kind of debris in places that you can't get, I'll wipe it off and then blow the whole thing off with air. And then from there, we're going to be going through with, I believe it's the Lake Oswego pre-war Chris. We'll be going over the whole boat, anything that was bleached, the hull sides, the gunnels, the decks, everything. And the hatch cover. And the hatch covers, yep. And then once we get that nice and dry, so probably by Monday, we'll take the same thing with the Lake Oswego black and do the covering boards in the covering board black. So that way it has a nice little red undertone, and when you lay the black on it and you put all the varnish on it, the sun is just gonna hit it and it's gonna be just amazing color. So by the time we shoot the next video on Monday, it's gonna be a rather stunning change from what we're looking at right now. It's gonna be absolutely incredible. And then once that adventure's over, the CPS will go right to it, and it's really gonna go pretty fast from there. Now, I've had a number of people keep asking me, how do you rinse off the stain? You don't rinse off the stain. This is it. It dries. The wood is down to 10%. We're good. It's time to stain. And others have asked me, can we put the CPES clear penetrating epoxy sealer on first? Well, I guess you could, but of course then your stain can't stain because the sealer seals, and therefore the stain is just going to sort of sit there like poorly adhering paint. So don't do that. Do it in the right order. Bleach it with Daly's bleach, 3 part B, 1 part A. Keep it wet, keep it wet, keep it wet. And when you think you're finished, keep it wet. And then it's really kind of nuts not to have a humidity gauge, a moisture meter. We could not operate this shop without it. Let it dry down to 10%, and then you're ready to do what Joe's doing right now. And you can see how dramatically this brown residue, that's all from the old original mahogany. And we're bleaching out color. And you can see quite dramatically, especially right there, as Joe has scuffed the bridge, and you can see, look at the difference in color. All right, this is what we're after. And one thing when it comes to bleaching is when you're putting it on, especially the first coat, it's really important, especially the way we apply it, it's all brushed on. But you want to make sure when you're brushing it on, you're going to be able to tell what's hit and what's, you know, where it's soaking in and where it's not. The most important coat is the first coat, making sure that it starts the whole soaking in process. Because if you get a drier spot up here and it's soaking in really well here, you're going to have a wicked difference in between the two.
And let's remind everybody again, somebody criticized me saying, I'm tired of hearing you talk about start bleaching from the floor and work up. Okay, so I'll say it again. Start bleaching from the floor and work up. In other words, bleach here first and work up. And if you don't, you're gonna have some really, really pretty little stripes in your boat. The only problem is they're gonna go the wrong way. They're gonna be vertical. And trust us, you can't get rid of them. Or you could sand all the way through, but of course then you're gonna sand into unbleached wood, at which point you'll have dark stripes.
And another really big tip, especially on these boats with the bull nose, is right here, it's almost end grain of wood. So you really got to watch when you're sanding it, because you're going to get swirls everywhere and it will look horrible. So this is actually the biggest part and the hardest part to bleach on a boat, because it's so dense. This part has to be soaked more than the deck because the grain is so tight there.
So Joe's going to keep on scuffing, and I'll be back in the shop again tomorrow to do a follow-up video. She's going to look quite different tomorrow. So that's our bleaching to staining transition update on our 19-foot Chris-Craft Barrelback. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now from Snake Mountain Boatworks.